The new cooperation between the BRICS and OPEC has the potential to transform the global economy completely. Today, we'll discuss how this powerful alliance is upending energy security and challenging Western control. We'll look at what leaders like Vladimir Putin and Recep Tayyip Erdogan say and why it matters in global politics. And how would this move benefit underdeveloped countries that are struggling to access enough energy? So stay around as we go over what all of this means and how it could lead to a completely new way of working together around the globe. But before we get into the details, please like and subscribe to The Global Narrative. We're all about bringing you the most recent and greatest information, so don't miss out. Okay, let us get right into it. The world is changing rapidly these days, particularly in terms of how countries are cooperating on energy issues. The BRICS-OPEC collaboration is indeed shaking things up significantly. This coordination is becoming increasingly important as countries grapple with the consequences of Western sanctions and the need for energy security. BRICS and OPEC, together, control a significant portion of the world's energy resources. They're not simply playing the game. They're turning the script on the global economy. So, here's the scoop. Russian President Vladimir Putin recently made headlines during the Russian Energy Week Forum. He stated that Russia's energy sector is prepared to meet its targets despite what he called illegitimate Western sanctions. He noted that oil and gas sales account for almost a third of Russia's overall governmental budget. That's a significant deal, especially given what is going on in Ukraine. It's what keeps the Russian economy running. Putin also discussed how collaborating with BRICS helps balance Western power. He stated that Russia meets its commitments to offer energy resources to the global market, demonstrating how Russia is attempting to stabilize matters through organizations such as OPEC+ and the Gas Exporting Countries Forum. He made it plain that Russia is keeping close to OPEC and other oil suppliers, standing firm despite foreign demands. Despite the sanctions, Putin stated that 90% of payments for Russian energy exports are from friendly countries that have not imposed sanctions. This demonstrates why a new energy policy is required. He also hinted that one might be on the way shortly to help deal with the shifting scenario. Turkey is making significant progress in the BRICS alliance, and President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is fully committed to the effort. He's thrilled about the opportunities Turkey may unlock by joining groups like BRICS and ASEAN. Erdogan believes this might shake up the regional environment and potentially usher in a new geopolitical framework. He also underlined Turkey's strong relationships with countries in Europe, Central Asia, and Africa. Turkey, frustrated with the glacial pace of progress toward EU membership, has officially registered to join BRICS. Erdogan believes that this membership will create new prospects for economic cooperation and alliances, particularly with countries other than its traditional Western friends. Because of Turkey's geographical location and extensive historical ties, membership in BRICS has the potential to significantly increase the bloc's impact. BRICS just received a significant upgrade. With new members, including Iran, the UAE, Ethiopia, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, the group now wields significant power on the global energy scene. With these gains, BRICS now controls 42% of the world's oil and gas reserves and a staggering 72% of the world's rare earth metals. That represents a significant portion of the world's critical resources. With this level of power, BRICS is no longer only a major participant in the energy sector. It is now a force to be reckoned with in businesses that rely on rare earth metals and coal. This supremacy offers BRICS the ability to influence resource markets and challenge the rules established by traditional Western institutions. The consequences are enormous, as BRICS postures itself as a viable alternative to the traditional economic powers. As BRICS continues to grow, it is proving to be a viable alternative to traditional Western institutions such as the World Bank and IMF. This group is all about advocating for a better economic model, one that prioritizes development and distributes resources more equitably. And with the BRICS Development Bank in play, governments may be able to find new financing solutions that allow them to avoid traditional Western banking systems. That may be a complete game changer. As BRICS begins to make moves in the resource markets, you may see a significant shift in global power. With such a sizable portion of the world's energy resources under its belt, BRICS can negotiate some excellent deals for its membership. There is even talk of the BRICS considering non-dollar transactions, which could significantly shake up the global economy and undermine the US dollar's dominance in international trade. If it happens, we can expect a significant geopolitical shift. President Erdogan has not been hesitant about expressing his displeasure with the United Nations. He's been quite outspoken about the failure to sustain world peace and security. He has specifically criticized the United Nations for failing to fairly represent the interests of Muslim and African countries, calling for fundamental reforms to ensure that everyone's voice is heard. This critique has surfaced frequently recently, particularly in the context of the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian crisis, when Erdogan chastised the UN for failing to hold Israel accountable for what is happening in Gaza. Energy is a significant deal in terms of fueling economic growth. Sustainable development will not occur unless there is an efficient means of obtaining and sharing energy. We've progressed from manual labor to relying on natural resources over time. Today, modern economies rely on both fossil fuels and renewables. But here's the deal. There is a rising need to ensure that energy is distributed more fairly, particularly in underdeveloped nations where people are struggling to receive the resources they need. Speaking of issues, developing nations have numerous energy-related challenges. Many of them lack the infrastructure to support a stable energy sector, leaving them in energy poverty. It doesn't help that the consequences of colonialism continue to impede their progress. These countries were left behind without the necessary resources to develop their energy businesses. Fixing this problem will need a worldwide effort, including increased investment in education, infrastructure development, and political stability, so that these countries can begin to use their resources and grow. As the energy landscape changes, countries must adapt and reassess their energy strategy. This includes adapting to new market realities, collaborating more closely with BRICS and OPEC, and coping with sanctions and geopolitical issues that continue to emerge. The future of energy cooperation depends on how well these countries can collaborate and handle the ups and downs of the global market. There is a lot of opportunity for closer collaboration between BRICS and OPEC. They both want to keep energy markets stable and resources distributed more equally. By banding together, they could create a stronger and more sustainable energy system that benefits everyone while challenging the conventional powerhouses that have dominated the industry for so long. What do you believe the BRICS-OPEC agreement implies for the future of global energy? Share your opinions in the comments. And that concludes today. Thank you for participating, and see you next time.